Hey, Aubrey, quick update. So I am flying to Boston next Friday morning. So we need to record on a different day. We normally record on Fridays, but can't do it.
Okay, no problem. When are you thinking?
Ooh, I wonder if our listeners just had an inside look into our typical conversations, right?
Right, I love
Letting
it, right?
our
Scheduling recording,
yeah,
and this is interesting because I didn't say, "When do you think?" I
right.
said, "When are you thinking?" Which might have sounded strange to some of you, or you might have been thinking like, "Yes, why do native speakers say that? I don't understand. That's not what I learned."
Yes, I'm so excited. In this series, we're letting our listeners in on a little secret, right? That some of these stative verbs can actually be used in the ing form. So cool. So cool.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. And in part one of this series, we answered a question specifically about like, love, these stative verbs of emotion. So don't miss that. If you missed it, scroll up. It's episode 2220, like or liking your grammar questions answered. Be
Hmm.
sure to hit follow so that you don't miss this awesome series. This is part two of a three-part series.
Lovely. Hit that follow button, guys. I'm going to read the question from our listener. Unfortunately,
Awesome.
we don't have the listener's name, but we appreciate any and all questions, especially specific questions. Right, Aubrey?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So send them into support@allearsenglish.com. We'll make sure it gets to our team, to you, Aubrey, to Michelle to plan these episodes, and we will feature
Yes.
your question on the show. All right. Here we go.
Awesome.
All right. So the grammar question, which I understand but can't explain, is the use of stative verbs. For example, want, understand, in the present continuous tense. We non native speakers have always been taught that those kinds of verbs are normally not used in the progressive tenses. Has this rule been changed? If so, is that for spoken English only? And generally, is it because the language is always evolving? Right off the
So
bat, what
good.
do you think, Aubrey? What's your
I love this question, and you have really hit the nail on the head, whoever this
yeah.
listener is who sent it in.
Yeah.
Both of those are accurate.
Yes.
It's really more for spoken English.
Yes.
And yes, because language evolves
Yes.
and this is it's like trendy, right? To
Right.
to do this. And I think that once upon a time, many years ago, it wasn't the case.
Yeah, it's so fun because I watched the show Ghosts. I've told you about the show. You really should check it out. It's
Yes.
such a cute show, and it's so well done because they take all these ghosts that died on this upstate New York mansion property all the way back to like the 1500s. So you have people from the Roaring 20s, one person from the Roaring 20s, one person from the Revolutionary times, and they all speak differently. That's the
Right.
part that I find the most interesting. And,
It would
so
be interesting.
people language
They wouldn't
changes.
say this. They wouldn't say, "When are you thinking? I'm
No.
loving
Even
chocolate cake."
honestly,
No,
like,
it
even the
would
guy
be
from the
straight.
90s, there's this guy, Pete, this character from the 90s, and he's so 90s. Oh my god, he's great.
That's
He
awesome.
wouldn't have even said that.
Right,
So,
because it's new.
yeah.
Yes, it's evolving, it's trendy, but we do it a lot. You guys are hearing it a lot, and we get a lot of questions about this. So I'm excited we're doing this series to clarify for you guys when you can do it, because some stative verbs we do this with, but some you really can't. So we dove into emotions like and love in that first part. Today we are talking about these other kinds of verbs, thoughts and opinions, stative verbs. Sometimes we
Yes.
can do this and sometimes we can't.
Yeah, so we have a category of 2 buckets today of the ones that you can actually put them into the progressive as well as just the present form, and then we have a bucket where you cannot,
Where we
right?
do not do this.
Yes.
Absolutely. And these are just the most common stative verbs. This is certainly not an exhaustive list. There are a bunch, but these are the ones that are going to come up really often in conversations for you.
Okay, cool. So let's go through what are the ones in the bucket of you can actually go ahead and experiment in the present continuous tense. What would you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So first think, right? We definitely say like I think so. I think this. But then we also will say, "Ooh, I'm thinking we made a mistake." And we're making it more of a momentary action that I'm currently thinking this. Maybe
Yeah.
next week I'll change my mind.
Yeah, and again, I want to re-emphasize the first part of the question from the listener, is it for spoken English only? Yes, I wouldn't really
Yes.
if I were writing some kind of report, I wouldn't really, because this is articulating thoughts live in the
Exactly.
moment. I would rework my thought.
Yes.
I think we must have made a mistake. I believe we made a
Yes.
mistake, right? Yes.
Right, and so for informal texts or emails, we write like we speak,
Yeah.
so you might see this, but for formal writing, just like you said, Lindsay, we wouldn't say this, it's very much spoken English.
Yeah, totally. And then agree. Okay, this one. So I'm agreeing with you. don't worry, stop freaking out. I'm agreeing with you, right? I'm actually
Yes,
agreeing
this
with
is
you.
very specific, right? Usually we would just say, I agree with you in general. We're talking about our state of mind.
Right.
But if you are in the moment having a conversation and someone says, you're not listening to my side, and
Mhm.
you say, I'm agreeing with you, you're not listening to me, you're talking about right now, in this moment, listen to me, what I'm saying, I'm agreeing with you.
Right, totally. And then doubt, I'm doubting myself, right? Or I doubt that. Um, or you
Yeah.
could
So in
also
general,
yeah.
like you doubt something in general, but right now in this moment, I might say, ooh, I'm doubting myself.
You could also say on a regular basis, I doubt myself, right?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely, right? Both work. It all depends on the context and the time. This is all about like, is this a momentary thought, a momentary action? I'm turning it into an action verb.
Yeah.
Or is it a stative verb? Is it a state of mind?
Guessing. I'm guessing he won't like this. Very common to hear that, right?
Absolutely. And of course, we say, I guess not. You
Mhm.
know, we'll also use this as a stative verb, in which case, present simple.
Yeah.
But when we are talking about this momentary action, I agree. This is so common. I do this all the time.
Yes.
I'm guessing he'll be late.
Yes.
I'm guessing we shouldn't do this. And it's because I'm talking about my state of mind right now in this moment.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Really puts you into people into your mind, right? It is kind of a connection phrase. I'm guessing this will happen because
Exactly.
it gives people you're talking to a slice of your mind. Love it.
Yes.
Okay.
And there are more, right? Like imagine, remember, we might say, I'm remembering that last week
Hmm.
I da 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 da. It's there are more, but these are the most common.
Right.
Definitely if you have to pick a few to start using in present progressive to sound more native
Yeah.
today, these are the ones you want to choose.
All right. Cool. Now we're gonna take a break, and then we'll come back to the ones that we cannot change into ing. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we are back. So Aubrey, believe would be our first one. That can we say believing
No, we
you?
don't, right? We say, I believe you, I believe this, because
Hmm.
we're talking about something, a belief. That's not something we talk about as being true in a moment. We don't give it time.
Yeah.
I would never say like, I'm believing you, I'm believing it. This is
Yeah.
no, we don't say it that way.
What about preferences? What can we do there?
Yeah,
Prefer.
same thing. For all of these, don't use them. We don't recommend using them in present progressive. You're going to say, like, I prefer oatmeal raisin cookies. We would not say, I'm preferring this
Right.
because this is just like a solid state of verb that you can't turn into an action.
Yeah. In the other episode, we talked about, oh, I'm really liking these new restaurants cropping up in Denver. Right. But I wouldn't say it seems like you should be able to say, I'm really preferring
Right.
these new restaurants cropping up in Denver, but you can't. So it doesn't follow the same logic
Exactly.
of the meaning
And
of
to
the
pull
word.
in a pro tip from part one, make sure to go listen to it, guys. It's a lot about how much passion is there. And prefer
Yes.
is so
Very,
neutral,
it's
right?
very
Oh,
muted.
I prefer this type of cookies. I'm
That's true.
loving chocolate chip cookies, though.
Yeah, that was kind of our takeaway from that episode was
Yeah.
what's the temperature level of what you're saying?
Is there emotion? Is
Yeah.
there passion?
Yeah. Prefer is
Absolutely.
definitely a very muted verb.
Yep, exactly. So don't say I'm preferring, just
Mhm.
I'm prefer all of these. Don't say I'm believing, I'm preferring. Nope.
Right. And then I know that we never say
Never.
because yeah,
Same as
it's
believe, right? It's really the same
right.
meaning. I know this or I don't.
Y
Not gonna say
yeah.
I'm knowing this right now. No,
Yeah, no,
doesn't make
doesn't
sense.
work.
Yeah.
I mean it, or she means what she says. Never say she's meaning what she's saying. No. Nah.
Exactly. And this is the first one that's really tricky because that word meaning does exist, but it's a noun,
Uh-huh.
right? The meaning of this sentence is blank. That is not at all related to the verb mean. So don't let
Right.
yourself get confused. If you see the word meaning, that is not a state of verb being used at the ing. Unfortunately, English is tricky, and these words also exist in other
And we're
forms.
gonna see that one more time right now.
Yep,
Aubrey,
exactly.
what is that? Where do we have to be careful also?
It's understand. We only say I understand,
Mhm.
right? This understand, when we talk about these being thoughts and opinions, right?
Mhm.
This is my thought that I understand. And we
Right.
wouldn't say I'm understanding you. Like, okay,
Nah.
when you mean I understand. But that
Yeah.
word does exist, right, Lindsay?
Yeah, we
Understanding.
have an understanding, right? Or I'm very understanding, right?
Both,
Both.
exactly. We have the noun.
Yeah.
we have this understanding, it's a thing. And
right?
then we also have the
Adjective.
adjective, I'm an understanding person. So
Yeah.
because that word exists as an adjective and a noun, you might be
And a
confused
verb.
and try to
Oh,
use it as a stative verb ing. We don't say it that way. If you want to
yeah.
tell someone you understand where they're coming from, just say, I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
That could be another great episode for our listeners, Aubrey, is if
The
we
ones that exist as
yeah,
ing.
like
These are so much
roots that exist in verb form, noun form, adjective form, and
Yeah.
how do we parse out the differences using
Yes.
context? It can I mean, even native speakers can sometimes
It's
get confused
tricky.
with some of them, I think. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, and we have done some episodes that are related
Yeah.
where adjectives and nouns, like, how do we use them? Be sure you're hitting follow because I agree, Lindsay. I think we should dive into that again in
Yes.
the future.
Okay, let's put it into life here. We've been doing a lot of definitions, examples. Let's put it into a role play. We are eating at a restaurant. Love that. All right.
Yeah. Start us out.
So this place seems amazing. I'm thinking I want to taste everything on this menu.
It does all look delicious.
Well, I usually prefer the place in Midtown, but I'm excited to try something new.
I'm guessing we couldn't get in there, though. I doubt we could get a reservation.
Nice. Okay. Yes. So I'm thinking I want to taste everything on the menu. Very common, very trendy.
Absolutely, and both would work here. You could say, "I think I wanna taste everything on the menu." Absolutely, exact same meaning, but because you can also make it this momentary action more in the moment, you can say this, "I'm thinking I wanna taste everything on this menu." It might sound grammatically incorrect to you guys out there listening. You found out in textbooks, teachers told you not to do that. We do it. Language is evolving. It's
Right.
casual English. It's not a grammar error.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
just the way we speak.
Yeah, and you sit down, I had to have dinner with anyone, and you get handed the menu, the first thing that your dining partner is gonna look across the table and say, "Hmm, what are you thinking?"
What are you thinking? That's such a good
So
point. We don't say, "What do you think?" It'd be like, "What do I think
no.
about what?" About what
Right.
I'm doing to the no,
It's
it's,
really
"What are you thinking?" Which means, "What do you think you're going to
I
order?"
would say, what do you think if it's more like, a big life decision that's going beyond just this
Exactly.
moment looking at this menu? "Hey, what do you think I should do about
Exactly.
this problem?" Right? That's different.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Whereas, "What are you thinking?" It's very much about this moment. You're
Yes.
looking at the menu, "What do you think you'll order?" "What are you
Yeah,
thinking?"
but so common, incredibly common.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and to think that this isn't really being taught around the world in textbooks from what we gather
Yeah.
from our listeners, there's big gaps missing, guys. That's why you
Yes.
have
In
all those
fact, when
English.
I went to prepare this, we've gotten all of these questions from students, and I did a little Google search, and there's not much out there because I think this is one of those gray areas
Yeah.
where some of the grammar websites are like, we can't teach this because textbooks often say it's incorrect. So
Uh,
you'll see it in forums and be like, oh, yeah, we say it this way.
yeah.
But it can be confusing when if you're trying to learn from forums because there will be people disagreeing with each other.
Yeah, we like to hang out in the gray areas of English, don't we?
Absolutely. That's what we come here. We will share. This is how we talk, and this is how you can talk too.
Because our value is higher than
Absolutely.
the linguistic guide or the dictionary. It's about connection. And whether
Exactly.
you're saying it correctly or incorrectly or in the gray area, you can connect, and that should be the goal. So, just to make sure we're
Yes, what
straight
we
on
wanna
that.
share is these will
Mhm.
make you sound like a native. Native English speakers are not going to hear this and think it's a mistake. They're going to hear this and think you're speaking the way they speak. It sounds
Right.
very natural
There's
and
more
native.
connection there. Sure. Okay. So finishing up here, I usually prefer the place in Midtown, but I'm excited to try something new. In that case, we never go into ing with that one.
Nope,
Yeah.
you would never say, "I'm preferring the place in Midtown these days." It just sounds strange, right? Just, "I
No,
usually
it's
prefer
too muted.
this other place."
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. What else?
And then I said, "I'm guessing we couldn't get in there though." And this really, I'm guessing, is very common. I wouldn't say, "I guess we couldn't get in there." That's a different meaning. I could say, "I'm thinking we couldn't get in there though." These
Mm,
have the same meaning of like right now
right.
in this moment, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And you have an opportunity to use a little intonation here too with I'm guessing. I'm guessing, right? I'm guessing we couldn't get in there though. You're kind of
Mhm.
putting forth a point of view.
Yeah,
And
it's just an assumption, like a
mhm,
guess, but this is the way we say it to almost like soften it to
yeah.
be like, "I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing
Yeah, it's
this."
a bit of softening going on. And then you
Mhm.
said at the end, I doubt we could get a reservation. Yeah. Some of those
Yeah.
midtown restaurants, hard to get a reservation. But these days, I
Yes.
wonder if that's changing with so many people working
Oh,
from
yeah.
home at lunchtime. I wonder if it's easier to eat at the fancy places in midtown.
Yeah, I
Manhattan.
don't know as far as New York, but in Arizona, it's hard to get a reservation these days, and a lot of
Really?
places aren't taking reservations, you just have to go and wait an
Oh, yeah,
hour if you wanna
places do
go.
that now. Yeah, it's true,
Yeah,
and
it's
everyone has to
tricky.
be there before you actually put your name in. Have you seen
Yep,
that? Yeah.
absolutely, we see that a lot. It's so hard.
It's hard.
Like, that
Restaurants.
doesn't work for us, we want to be
Yeah,
able to show up and eat.
I
So
know.
tricky.
Yeah,
And
it's
this
true.
last one, I think it's good to point out, you could say either here, right? I
Yep.
could have said, "I'm doubting we could get a reservation,"
Uh,
or, "I doubt we could get a reservation."
right.
These really are interchangeable in that context.
Yes, love it. What's the takeaway? I think we said it a little bit earlier is we're hanging out in a gray area here, guys,
Yeah.
and, we're not linguists. Our value is connection, okay?
Absolutely. Yes, exactly. We want you guys to be able to connect. And stative verbs are such a great way to connect because often these are about what you're feeling, what you're thinking. And you want to be able to share that with those in English that you're speaking to in order to deepen your
Yeah,
connections.
it's such an opportunity. Anytime you're sharing something from your own mind and heart, it's such an opportunity, and bringing people in with the ing just brings it to life more, okay?
Absolutely. Yes, I
Yeah.
love it. I'm excited for you guys to have these tips to know which verbs, which stative verbs you can do this with
Yes.
and which you should avoid so that you can deepen those connections.
All right, good stuff, Aubrey. I'll see you back here very soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsay.
All right, bye.